Let's see how we can test the alignment of the spine, and we'll do it for both the person who receives the push as well as for the person who executes the push. When you push me, I'm going to put 1 foot forward so that the back leg is going to be at an angle. And we're going to experiment with the alignment of the spine with the back leg. For example, right now I'm aligning my spine with the back leg, and it's all hunky-dory. Great. How about I misalign it just a tiny bit like this? It immediately feels different. How about I misalign it just a little bit more? All right. Now we're going to play with the alignment of a part of the spine that many people forget about, and that is the neck, the cervical spine. So push me in the exact same you were pushing me, and everything is in alignment, but I'm going to misalign my neck like this. You see, you're also looking at my eyes, and so both of us are out of line.
Okay.
I misalign my neck, easy to push over. If I misalign my neck this way, looking at my toes, also there's something funny about that. And if I look straight forward, we're kind of in a balance. Now, when you do the same thing, push me like that again, but look into my eyes. Feel that?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, there's not much power in it.
That's exactly what happens. Let me stand like this. So I'm easily pushed over if you're in alignment, but I want you to look into my eyes and not go ahead and push. Feel that?
Okay.
You can't push me.
No.
Now, let's take a look at toes and see, maybe that's going to work somehow. Wow, that's not working. How about you look straight into your hand that you push my body with? Ah, that's a totally different feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does it feel like?
I just get flow.
You just move through
I
it.
just move through it, yes.
That's exactly what we call being powerful, using power rather than force. But there is also an interesting little detail. How do you align your focus of attention? Because where attention goes, energy flows. For example, if you push me with your hand on my body and look at your hand, notice how where attention goes, energy flows. You actually empower your hand. Go ahead and push. Yeah, very nice. But if you do the same thing, but you look off to the side. The neck is in alignment, but you're not pushing. Yeah, it's pretty powerful still, but the energy is kind of going slightly up. Now, if you push me again, but look down at your toes, and notice how now there is no power.
Yeah.
What if you look into my eyes? Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
The energy is not going into the hand.
No.
So we can connect eye to eye, but you don't have power to push me over. How would you need to be so that you would have that power even when you're not pushing?
Aligning?
Yes. How would you do it?
No. I will streamline.
Yes. So it's like there's a straight line going from the top of the head along the spine, including cervical spine, and the spine is in alignment with the back leg. And there is an easy way to achieve this alignment of the cervical spine even when you're not pushing. This, grabbing yourself by the tips of the ears and just gently tugging straight up. I was just talking about how the line goes from the top of the head down along the spine. How do we bring the top of the head on top of the head? The tips of the ears are anatomically positioned in such a way that if you connect them over the top of the head, they literally streamline the entire head when you pull straight up by them. You don't have to pull hard, just simply check. Is my head in alignment now? And that is the alignment that we're looking for. Now when you're pushing or pulling or doing anything else, that may change. Then you can double check again. And that double checking leads to self-awareness. Self-awareness is the key to self-mastery. There is no way to achieve self-mastery without self-awareness. So that, my friend, is exactly what we're looking for. Achieving self-mastery by taking baby steps. This is a simple baby step, just pulling yourself out of misalignment by the bootstraps, or by the tips of the ears rather. And when you do that, notice how it's easier to breathe. Literally, breathing becomes easier and smoother when the spine is in alignment. Also, when you do this, it slightly elevates your sternum, opening up more volume in your rib cage, where the lungs are. That's why it becomes easier to breathe. There are several other reasons, but this is the number one. The most important thing is that the whole structure now becomes aligned. And that alignment of the structure is something we can achieve even more effectively by exploring the principle of centering. So, centering practice is something that allows us to become aware of the center. How else can you get centered if you're not aware of the center? In order to become centered, you bring attention to the center, but you need to know where the center is, where to bring attention to. So, what do? We literally find our center. How do we find center? We're not talking about the center of mass. We're talking about the central channel. In Oriental medicine, it's referred to as central channel. In Tai Chi, they call it Tai Chi pole, and yoga, they call it Sushumna. Basically, it's the straight line going from the top of the head, down along the spine, through the perineum, all the way down to the center of planet Earth. If you are upright, that's great. That means that you can allow the bone structure to support your weight. When the bones are doing the support work, the muscles can relax. Muscles are never as strong as bones. If they're trying to compensate for lack of structural integrity of the skeleton, muscles are getting tired, sore, stiff, and create energy blockages, which wreak havoc in our health. And if we align the bones, something beautiful happens. Bones start doing the work without working hard. They just need to be stacked up in such a way that it's all in alignment. So, what would be the alignment practice that would enable us to create a type of streamlining of the spine and other bones? It's called centering practice. Right now, I'm going to simply turn to the left and notice where I'm pivoting on the heel of my left foot when I turn to the left. If I bring my hands together next to the navel, my fingertips are pointing forward. That's the center line. And I want my toes of the left foot to stay in alignment with the center line. Just 51% of the weight on the front foot will qualify to call it a weight-bearing foot. I'm not sinking back. I'm not pivoting around my stomach. The center of mass of the human body, unless you're pregnant or have a big belly, is further back. You know, the pelvic girdle is mostly in the back, open in the front, a lot of bone structure in the back. That's heavy. That's why the center of mass is further back. And not just the pelvis. The entire backbone is in the back. The shoulder blades are in the back. Most of the rib cage bone structure is in the back. The densest parts of the body are further back than what most people think. Therefore, the center of mass is not in front of the body. we look at pictures of the human body and often they say, oh, the center of mass is here at the lower belly. It's not in the belly, it's actually further back towards the sacrum. That's why when we pivot, either to the left or to the right, we pivot around the sacrum or the lower back. Now what happens? I look for the axis of rotation. If I turn to the right or turn to the left, I'm rotating, I'm pivoting. I want to find the axis around which my whole body is pivoting. That is my center. I pivot on the heel of one foot at a time. So right now I'm turning to the right. My right foot is in alignment with my center line. Then I turn forward, my toes turn forward, and then I continue turning further to the left, keeping my left toes in alignment with my center line. When I bring them back down, I can start moving in the opposite direction. And they are basically moving in alignment with my center line. No matter where the navel is pointing, the toes are going to be pointing. Pivoting on the heel, not the toes. It's not the golf swing kind of pivot where you twist your legs silly and lift the back heel. No, the heel stays on the ground. You maintain the principle of rooting and pivot on the heel 1 foot at a time. It requires bending the knees a little bit. It will give you better mobility of your hips. And just let your arms hang down loose. They're not going to just hang down. They're going to swing or flap around because they're relaxed. Let them flap around. Some Qigong practices, they vigorously slap themselves on the kidneys or other parts. We're not going to do that. Just let the arms instinctively find the proper place where to touch the body when you turn from side to side. And notice how your breathing will become easier and may also synchronize with your movements. When you turn, there's a little bit of a torque of the torso or a twist. Just like wringing water out of a rag, it pushes the air out of your lungs. You exhale. And when you go through a frontal position of the body, you inhale. Easy to inhale, more likely to exhale when you turn. And when you turn and exhale, that's going to be a relatively rapid pace of breathing, but that's okay. You're not going to hyperventilate. Simply allow breathing, the physiological function of breath, to synchronize with the physical movements of the body. That's what we call entrainment. That's one of the key principles of harmonious culture of movement, where the physiological functions and your physical actions synchronize and support each other instead of fighting against each other. And we can spend a minute or 2 or 3 just turning from side to side like this, bringing 100% of our attention to the center around which we're pivoting. The axis is a vertical plumb line because we're turning from side to side. That's exactly